It's Wednesday, July 25. This is the news on PBCJ. I'm Carol Francis. The House of Representatives yesterday approved the new national minimum wage of $7,000 per 40-hour work week for the lowest paid workers. The new rate becomes effective on Emancipation Day, August 1.
In recommending a minimum wage, the Commission took into consideration factors such as the current state of the Jamaican economy, the employer's ability to pay, the increased costs of utilities and transportation, the 2016 and 2017 inflation rates, and the government's economic recovery program and its current agreement with the International Monetary Fund. As a minister with a portfolio responsibility for labor, I have to balance the interests of employers and minimum wage earners. I also have to consider the needs of the workers and the ability of employers to pay. Additionally, it is my duty as minister to make every effort to protect employment opportunities for low-income earners. Mr. Speaker, it must be noted that the employers for minimum wage earners are not just large corporations. Indeed, the employer of a minimum wage earner can be a public or private sector employee who is also struggling financially. Nevertheless, I also acknowledge that many minimum wage earners are also struggling financially.
The increase drew sharp criticism from the minister's opposition counterpart, Horace Daly.
$800 after 2 years. And I tell you what the $800 in effect what it is. It's about $192 that is not even sufficient for a bus ride around Kmart. It is not sufficient for the worker, the ordinary worker. This is the household helper. This is the mechanic who has to go to the mechanic shop. These are the people who do day's work. It is not enough, and I said so then, and the opposition still says so now, that the people of Jamaica, the working class of this country, the poor people, Minister, can get more. The economy, Minister of Finance, the economy can sustain a higher minimum wage at this time. And I'm saying you must move it to 10,000 immediately. But it can sustain more than the 7,000 that has been offered.
Minister of Local Government and Community Development, Desmond McKenzie, has announced the allocation of an additional $20 million to boost drought mitigation measures across the island. Mr. McKenzie says the money will be used to support the efforts of 10 municipal corporations to intensify the trucking of water. The allocation is an addition to the disbursement of $35 million for drought alleviation on July 11. The upcoming Wigton wind farm initial public offer on the Jamaica Stock Exchange will give investors an opportunity to own a part of Jamaica's energy sector. Wigton Wind Farm, WWF, a wholly owned subsidiary of the Petroleum Corporation of Jamaica, PCJ, is the largest wind energy facility in the English-speaking Caribbean and was built by the government to diversify Jamaica's energy mix. Wigton accounts for 6.2% of the grid's installed generating capacity and 3.7% of Jamaica's electricity generation. As a modern, successful green business, WWF is also poised for investment, generating an income of $2.16 billion, net profit of $186 million, and a total comprehensive income of $214.8 million as of March 31, 2017. With the listing on the stock exchange, Jamaicans from all walks of life will be able to purchase shares in the company. Managing Director of the Development Bank of Jamaica, Milverton Reynolds, says the plan is to widen the base of ownership and direct equity. An international human trafficking conference is now underway at the Malaya Braca Hotel in Trelawney. The theme for the two-day conference is From Victim to Survivor, the Hard Road to Recovery. The main objectives of the conference are to increase public awareness to discourage human trafficking, to train officials throughout the public and private sectors on identifying victims of trafficking, and to build capacities through legislation and institutional strengthening. The participants include the Ministry of Justice, Interpol, the Greenberg Police Department in New York, and the United States Embassy. Entrepreneurs will benefit from a 6-month hybrid program designed to expand their businesses. We have more in this report. The program is the brainchild of the Branson Center of Entrepreneurship, called Quick Scale Bundle. The program includes enrollment in the center's investment readiness booth camp, 6 hours of one-on-one investment pitch preparation, 3 months of finance coaching, and 3 months of strategic planning coaching. Director of the Entrepreneur Programs, Dimitri Dawkins, says this Quick Scale Bundle is designed to propel small businesses by improving strategy, financial planning, and investment readiness. Russian majority-owned bauxite company UC Rusal has been granted a 3-month reprieve to continue trade. This reportedly follows negotiations between the government of Jamaica and the United States Treasury Department of Foreign Assets Control. Mining Minister Robert Montague updated Parliament on the matter yesterday. On April 6, 2018, the United States Treasury Department of Foreign Assets Control added, amongst others, 7 Russian oligarchs and 12 companies they own or control to its national sanctions list. These sanctions resulted in the freezing of the assets of 7 Russian oligarchs and the 12 companies they own or control.
In an effort to reduce the effects of the sanctions over the 1,200 workers from Windalco, the livelihood of Jamaican citizens and the local economy, an appeal was made to the U.S. Department of Treasury by Jamaica in June 2018. The government of Jamaica sought the grant of waivers for UC Rusal to 1. Allow the company to purchase fuel, equipment, spares, chemicals, and other supplies needed to sustain the economic operation of the Wigton plant and the attendant activities. And 2. To permit the company to conduct business transactions with banks in Jamaica, including their intermediaries, to facilitate the continuation of UC Rusal's business.
Tourism Minister Edmund Bartlett has met with the Tourism Working Group set up to review a range of issues, including the impact of the Economic Partnership Agreement between the European Union and the African, Caribbean, and Pacific Group of States on local tourism suppliers. Over the next couple of weeks, the group will meet to work on the various issues, including entertainment, training and certification, issuing of work permits, craft vendors, ground transportation, and information for the tourism demand study. Coming out of the meetings, they will present a proposal on the way forward. In regional news, the Trinidad and Tobago-owned Caribbean Airlines is reporting increased revenues despite a 32% increase in the price of fuel. The airline attributes the increase to its ongoing strength in passenger revenues, cost management, and network efficiency. Its unaudited half-year January to June results for 2018 show revenues and earnings significantly improved over the same period in 2017, despite the impact of higher fuel costs. Chief Executive Officer Garvin Madeira says other highlights for the 6-month period include improvement in line cargo and freight operations revenue. In sports, West Indies are keen to avoid a series defeat and force a decider at the weekend when they face Bangladesh in the second one-day international match of the 3-match series in Guyana. The day-nighter at the Guyana National Stadium will be pivotal to the Windies halting their losing trend in ODIs, which has seen them slump to 9th in the ICC rankings, 2 spots below their Asian opponents. West Indies lost Sunday's opener by 48 runs to slip 1-0 behind in the series. Another defeat will see them go without an ODI win in a bilateral series in 12 months, following winless campaigns against England and New Zealand late last year. Head coach Stuart Law says he was expecting an improved performance from the Windies, aware of what was required. And that's our package. Join us again tomorrow, same time, same place, for more news right here on the PBCJ, the People's Station.